Minnesota's Mille Lacs Lake holds a special place in the hearts of many anglers across the country. Fishermen who once drove hundreds of miles every chance they got to experience walleye fishing, nothing short of magical. This is the Mille Lacs many of us remember. We were there. But over the past few years, the Mille Lacs story has morphed from magic to mystery, with opposing sides claiming the walleye population is in serious trouble, while others maintain it's the best it's ever been. Fair to say there's a lot of misunderstanding. Each week, there's some new piece of Mille Lacs news that emerges, not all of it based on biology. There are strong views on each side, many with valid viewpoints and interests to be considered. But what everyone seems to be getting wrong is that Mille Lacs is more than one giant lake in the center of Minnesota, where all the fish are doing the same thing at exactly the same time. In actuality, the lake's diverse habitats are lakes unto themselves. There are weed fish, rockfish, mudflat fish, open basin fish, shallow fish, and deep fish. Anglers are reporting high numbers of healthy fat walleyes in deeper waters, fish keying in on the lake's protein-packed tullaby. The 2013 walleye hatch signals better times on the horizon too, with a population of 14 to 18-inch fish currently in the system. Fact is, at any time, on any given day, the mighty Mille Lacs is still one of the best multi-species fisheries in the country. BASS pro bass anglers learned this firsthand, weighing 5 fish bags of smallmouth with a near 25-pound average. Same goes for muskie fishing. Many experts believe that the next world record muskie will emerge from Mille Lacs, as high numbers of 50-inch plus muskies are being caught, photographed, and released. There are largely overlooked trophy pike too, and the lake's bays offer solid panfish opportunities throughout much of the open and hard water season. Yes, Mille Lacs is still a magical place, a fishery managing to recover as Mother Nature balances the equation, despite the best and sometimes worst efforts of man. On today's Edge, we pursue Mille Lacs Lake smallies, revealing the wonderful resource that has the entire bass world in a frenzy. Along the way, we discuss proven presentations like tubes, wacky rigs, drop shots, all effective for seducing Mille Lacs Lake's Goliath brown bass.
Look at that. That's the kind of fish we're talking about. That's why people are coming here like never before to chase these big brown bass like this.
Closed captioning is provided by Smooth Moves, adjustable boat seat suspensions for a smoother ride.
Ooh. Oh, look at that one.
There you
Troy.
go.
Whoa, whoa. Now that's a real man. That one there's got some oomph to him.
Yeah.
Some oomph to him. Woo. I'm liking it. You still want to jump? Oh, he don't want to quit. Whoa. He does not want to quit, Troy. I love it, I love it, I love it. How sweet it is. How sweet it is. Calm down a second. Let me get a handle on you here, baby. Oh, you don't want, just give me a second here. Don't be so crazy. Hang on. Look at that baby, huh? Huh? Oh, you know, I'm fortunate enough to live close to some of the best multi-species freshwater fishing in the world. You heard me right, in the world. Now that's a pretty bold statement, isn't it? Let me put her back a second and I'll explain to you a little bit of something that I want to be able to share with you. That was a big smallmouth, one of many that I expect to catch today. Some fish definitely pushing the 5-pound range, maybe even a little bit better. You know, in 1967, I came back late summer from Vietnam, and my brother and I were looking for a place that we were going to call home for the rest of our life. And we wandered through a lot of different states, looked at a lot of different places, and centered in on north central Minnesota in the Brainerd area. And the reason for that was really simple. The vast variety of lakes, rivers, and reservoirs, and the variety of fish. Every basic freshwater fish that swims was within a reasonable driving distance of this area. It was one of the best decisions we ever made.
I'm just gonna drag out here. If I can get one, we're coming over some fish.
Oh, there he is. Good fish, good fish. Nice smallmouth. He's wallowing right in this bug hatches and something else, man.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Just as you were talking about that,
Whoa.
we got that big
Quite a hatch of stuff, Troy. It's piled on my line.
This actually feels okay.
Come here, baby. Hang on. Let me get a lock on you. Oh, nice little chunky fish, huh? I'm kind of mixing it up. I'm throwing for some walleyes. I'm throwing for some smallmouth. Mixing my baits up. We actually got quite a few different rods rigged. They're on tubes. They're on hair. They're on swim jigs. They're on Izzy rigs. They're on wacky rigs. We're catching some jerking. We're always looking for a secret to success, like lures, legs, spots. Here's one mechanics have been using for decades to solve fuel system problems. It's Seafoam motor treatment. Seafoam helps to do the few important things exceptionally well. Cleans harmful fuel residues and engine deposits. Lubricates upper cylinders so engines run smoother and last longer. And protects the entire system from bad fuel. To me, this stuff is like a miracle in a can.
This time of year, I start to get real anxious. All I want to do is get out on the lake. That's my time. Time to hang with the guys, to have a little friendly competition. And you can't beat the adrenaline rush of seeing the fish come in. There's nothing like it. And there's nothing like a fresh fish fry at the end of the day with the gang. Mills Fleet Farm, serving the great outdoors since 1955.
You're paid to put fish in the boat. You don't mess around with the thing that puts fish in the boat. Always use the best line.
Auto stow and deploy, power trim, and your choice of iPilot or iPilot Link. Ulterra from Minn Kota. We can't believe it either.
This segment is brought to you by Northwest Ontario. There's no place like this.
We're catching all sizes of smallmouth today and walleyes. Let me take a minute here and explain to you what Mille Lacs Lake actually looks like. It's quite a unique body of water. In fact, there's not another lake in the world quite like Mille Lacs. Mille Lacs Lake in central Minnesota is one of the finest fisheries in the world. At 132,000 acres, it's basically an 18 by 22 mile oval exposed to the wind. Rocks abound along the entire shoreline, providing outstanding spawning conditions for a self-sustaining walleye fishery. The area along the north shore is known as the Sand, and like much of the lake, has a mixture of shallow rock piles hosting smallmouth bass and deep weeds that draw pike and muskie. The central portion of the lake hosts the famed Mille Lacs mudflats, which are not so much mud, but rather large areas of glacially deposited peat-like material rising off the bottom.
The flats are hotbeds of live bait rigging and spinner fishing for walleyes from late spring through midsummer. The southwestern section of the lake has several large bays filled with weeds that host a mixture of pike, muskies, and walleyes throughout the year. The southern and eastern shorelines are known for rock reefs that draw walleyes shallow under windy conditions, and like many areas of the lake, the shallow rocks here are hotbeds of smallmouth bass activity. The large open basin of the lake provides a late summer trolling fishery for walleyes, with anglers typically trolling crankbaits at about the 30-foot level across miles of wide open basin. Mille Lacs grows big fish of all species fueled by abundant minnows, shiners, perch, and Cisco forage bases. Some of the biggest walleyes, pike, and muskies that swim haunt its expansive waters. It's a popular fishing destination that draws countless anglers from the region to experience its bounty.
I'm out here on some big water. It's relatively calm right now. I'm on Lake Mille Lacs. It was pretty choppy earlier, and having a good seat like this is from Smallmouth. This is the absolute most comfortable seat I've been in a boat. I had a ruptured disc in my back from a pretty bad car accident a number of years ago, and I can't tell you how much better I feel when I'm in this on big water, and I think you will too. They're easy to install, and they are absolutely incredible. They will save your back. There we go. This one might, it's not, a little better. Way out there. Just kind of fan casting around real and slow. Oh yeah. Other lakes, this would be a good one. Like a Mille Lacs, this is like an average. It's fascinating here. This is like an average, just an average fish for smallmouth. Come here. You know, not a big one for here, but come here. There we go. Other places, I'd be really happy. I should say I am happy. Anytime I'm catching fish like this, I'm happy. There you go. Like that. Now, Bassmaster has rated this one of the best bass lakes in the country, and it's easy to see why. Look at some of the weights from the championship that was out here last fall.
When BASS comes to town, it's a big deal. First off, they have some of the most elite anglers in the country come and apply the waters. So they need a venue that has big fish, lots of fish, and offers a variety of structures and presentations to catch them on. And most importantly of all, it has to have the community to support it. The Mille Lacs area has all of that in spades. Here is the top 5 weights from the tournament from the bottom to the top for 15 fish. 5th place, 67.3 pounds. 4th place, 67.5. 3rd place, 67.12. 2nd place, 69.13. Then 1st place, a staggering 76.5 pounds for 3 days. That's around a 25-pound average per day. That's 5 5-pounders per day. Those are staggering numbers, and it just proves what we're saying. Mille Lacs is a world-class fishery.
Staying down. Knowing me, this is a big walleye. Huh? Right?
Walleyes don't break water.
Yeah, I know. I'm just joking.
There's no place like this.
Oh, wow. Unbelievable.
When you're in the business of teaching people how to catch fish, you need to provide anglers with the finest equipment, backed with the knowledge of how to use it. It's all about blending science and technology with hardcore fishing experience and passion. It's a relentless commitment to quality because it's family, it's personal, and it's all about catching more and bigger fish.
There's a real boy there. The Edge is presented by these and other fine sponsors.
A little bit better.
A little bit better, getting better. Nice fish. You know, there's a lot of different techniques you can use for these early season smallmouth bites like this.
We always load for bear when it comes to tackling rigs, but let's go through a grocery list of finesse baits if you're going to go out and chase smallies early in the season. One bait we always have tied on is a big bite tube. We got them rigged two different ways. One with an external head, like a VMC half moon jig. Two with an internal head, like a VMC tube jig. The external head has a dramatic up and down fall rate with very little side-to-side action. This can be very effective at times when they want a radical drop speed. You can fish it a little faster than the internal tube, but it's not as snag resistant. The internal rig tube has a lazy gliding motion on its descent. This can sometimes outproduce 5 to 1. You're forced to fish the bait a little bit slower, but it's more snag resistant. Either way, you're prepared with both. A search bait is mandatory any time of the year, and the Storm 360 GT, it's a no-brainer. This lure is designed for finding anything that swims. I love it. We have one tied on all year long simply because it catches fish. I get everything on it. Smallies, largemouth, walleyes, even crappies at times. I can fish it shallow, deep, fast, slow. This lure puts you in the driver's seat as far as presentation flexibility. Hey Troy, what do you think?
Hair is always an option when you're finesse fishing. Today we have a rod specifically rigged up with the VMC Marabou jig. Fishing a hair jig takes some practice, but once you get a fishing at it, it works like no other. This bait also works great if you got a lot of following fish and you want to convert those into double headers. A wacky rig presentation should never be overlooked. I love the VMC Wacky Hook. It has a light wire for getting good hook sets, but is also very tough. You pair this with a 5-inch big bite wacky stick, and now you're rolling. The wacky stick has an O-ring built into the bait. I'm not kidding. I probably caught 15 fish on one bait. These are amazing. A VMC spin shot and a big bite shaky squirrel is always a great finesse option. This is another fish catching machine. The presentation is always right at eye level with the fish and teases them into striking. Next up is a Vmc Carolina Rig, rigged with a tube or a craw. Sometimes smallmouth want the bait just sitting on the bottom or stitching along. That is when this is at its best. It gets you to the bottom in a hurry, but still has that supernatural look to the plastic because there's no weight there, just a hook. The last bait is a Vmc Darter Head and a 4-inch big bite trick stick. We generally rig it two different ways, standard or wacky. Smallmouth love this stick shape for some reason. I don't know why, but they just do. The profile of the plastic is much different than the other rigs, so with these shapes and some weights, you're good to go. One thing to keep in mind, these lures are not only for the early season time frame, they all have a time and place later in the year. But that's a topic for another show.
So sweet. Come here, come here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Ooh, this one got, look at the eye, look at that big old eye on that. This is the prettiest eyeball I had of all of them so far. Look at that. Huh? Isn't that a pretty fish? Wow. This afternoon, but the afternoon bite is really kicking up. We're catching lots of big fish. Wow, 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 wow. You know, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 rods rigged, and Troy has got 1, 2, 3, 4 rods rigged. You know, we're fishing all St. Croix rods and Daiwa reels, and they are a deadly combination. We've got different rod actions for different presentations. Most of what we're doing today is finesse fishing. Let me kind of go back. Another one?
Yeah.
Troy, I'm gonna talon down.
You talon? Yeah.
I'm taloning down, man.
I pressed the talon button, but I'm fighting this one.
I got it.
Yeah, we can fan cast. That's nice
There's
about
so
these
many
areas
fish
and these
here.
rock piles. There can be so many fish around, and some of this clear water, they can get a little bit touchy. So just taloning down and kind of holding still here for a little bit and see if we can get some more fish. Not a giant, but that's still pretty good. Oh, come here. There you go. Little guy by Mille Lacs standards.
I'm tailing down in a little bit of a trough here. There's a shallow rock pile up here that tops off at about 2.5, 3 feet. There's a ditch in here that goes to about 5, and then it comes back up on another 2.5 to 3 foot boulder area. We've been catching these fish through here. We'll tailing down, and there you'll get some fish that are following the hook fish in, and you just sit. And a lot of times smallmouth are so curious that they'll come to the boat. And on big shallow flats like this, where you got a lot of smallmouth using an area, that talon is a heck of a tool. Just one heck of a tool. That's why you see so many of them on so many guys' boats that do a lot of serious bass fishing.
I'd say technology and clothing is pretty cool. Like this gill that has built-in high SPF to keep the sun out. It's also very breathable. So you can wear it, you know, on some of these warmer days, where you can wear a long sleeve shirt like this and not be hot. You know, you only need, you know, you can wear some sun gloves or something just to cover up. You know, I wear a face buff along with this and a visor, and I can keep most of my body covered. And then it's nice to have clothing like this that you can wear in these hot summer muggy days that doesn't weigh you down. You don't even really notice. It's so lightweight, you don't really notice that you're wearing it.
Oh man, that's a big one, Troy. Whoa, 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 that might be the biggest fish of the day. That one really fell, that one's going, baby. Whoa. Oh yeah, she's a good one. Yeah, she's a donkey, man.
Let us make this absolutely clear. The days of wasted casts and missed opportunities are over. New Mega Imaging takes fishing into the megahertz range for the first time, because higher frequency sonar means higher frequency of this. Without a doubt, it's the most detailed picture of the world below ever. And it's only from Humminbird.
Lund builds the best fishing boats, but did you know how affordable the best can be? Take the 1625 Fury XL side console, for example. Starting prices have been slashed, a savings of nearly $3,000. Or the 1625 Fury XL Sport walk-through windshield, a savings of over $3,000. Always wanted to get into a new Lund? Visit lundboats.com for your free catalog and to find a dealer near you. And take advantage of these great savings.
Running in rough water can be a pain, literally.
Hey, I never knew how comfortable a ride could be.
Until I added Smooth Moves to my boat. Its 4-spring design with hydraulic shock can smooth even the roughest of rides. With the built-in slide and swivel, you maintain all the function of your existing seat. A turn of the handle, adjust for conditions and passenger weight.
Hey, it's easy to install and built to last.
Smooth Moves, your back will thank you. I know mine does.
Can't get enough Angling Edge? Wish you could learn more than you saw on TV? You can. Angling Edge DVDs dive deep into fish catching techniques that couldn't fit on air. It's like extra innings or overtime of Angling Edge. Choose from dozens of titles featuring your favorite freshwater fish. Purchase 5 DVDs at the incredible low price of $25. That's 5 DVDs for just $25. Purchase 2 sets and get free shipping too. Visit anglingedge.com to place your order. The Edge is presented by these and other fine sponsors.
That's a good one. Yeah, this Mille Lacs Lake is just absolutely amazing fishery. I mean, it's a trophy. You can get a trophy smallmouth bass, a giant walleye, or a gigantic, well, giant carp and giant muskie. This place is truly an angler's paradise. Look at that.
You know, in my hometown paper, every Friday, there's a full page titled Religion. And it's the first thing I read on Fridays. I love it. And they have different people in a full-time ministries that write a clergy view on it. And this was a recent one. I want to read it to you. Someone once wrote a letter to the editor of a newspaper that went like this. Dear Sir, it seems ministers feel sharing the word is very important and spend a great deal of time preparing their sermons. I've been attending church quite regularly for 30 years and have probably heard 3,000 sermons. To my consternation, I discovered I can't remember a single sermon. I wonder if a minister's time might be more profitable spent on something else. Responses to the letter flooded the newspaper, including this response. Dear Sir, I've been married for 30 years. During that time, I've eaten 32,850 meals. Suddenly, I have discovered that I can't remember the menu of every single meal. And yet, I have the distinct impression that without these meals, I would have starved to death long ago. I really got a kick out of this. And the first thing that I thought about when I read this guy's response is, when you go to church, do you go there expecting to hear something from the person in the pulpit? Are you excited? Do you believe you're going to hear something about the Word of God that'll impact your life, not only today, but in the future? Going to church expecting something is going to help you receive. I can't help believe that this person was probably just traditionally going there and putting in time. All I know is the times that I go to church, which are regular as I can make it, I always get something out of it. I'm going to say that again. I always get something out of it because I'm going there believing that I'm going to hear something that's going to impact me from the Word of God, and the majority of the time I do. Hey, from all of us here at The Edge, you have a good, safe fishing season. We'll see you on the water.
Hey, I want to take a moment to thank you for watching. And if you really like what you see, we got a whole lot more. So check us out at any one of these online outlets. You know, in fishing, there are good days and there are great days. Time is just a wink from the Almighty. We plan, target, rig, and play the game like everyone else.